Welcome back to the Morning Scramble, everybody. Do you know that there are the 5 biggest mistakes in college planning? And do you know what they are? Well, over the next couple of weeks, Chip Wittrock is going to be joining us. He is the co-founder of College Prep Mastery, and he's going to go into detail about these 5 mistakes to prevent you from making them when it comes time to sending your child off to college. So, good morning, Chip.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for coming. All right, so what is the first mistake that so many of us make when it comes to college planning?
Well, believe it or not, it's not having a declared major. We've kind of taken a lackadaisical approach and have encouraged kids to go off just for general education. The #1 declared major right now in universities is undecided.
Undecided. Oh, good. So that 4-year plan is turned into 6 or longer?
5.6 years is the national average now.
Oh, wow.
To get a 4-year degree. Families don't even go on a vacation for a week without knowing where they're going to go, what they're going to do, how much it's going to cost them. This is a lifelong project, and they really need to roll up their sleeves and take control.
Well, let's talk about the right course of study for your child. I mean, when do you start discussing this, and what do you suggest?
Well, the earlier the better. But, you know, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but, you know, finding things that are important as far as their intellect and their interest and their passion, a lot of those things don't change. You can start digging into that during high school and find out if there are things that they want to do. So it gives them the opportunity for job studies or take some of those courses in high school while education's free.
So finding the passion. Now, what about like extracurricular activities? You know, maybe they may not be smart in math, but boy, they love pets. Would you suggest, like, well, maybe you should go and become a veterinarian?
Well, that's a perfect example. If you take some of these comprehensive aptitude tests that are out there, they can give them an idea of a career path, which will identify a major that they're going to need to do that. So if it involves a lot of science, maybe a veterinarian, then they can start taking science in high school. If they find out there that they absolutely hate science, then maybe it's a good time to reevaluate while you're there.
Yeah.
Or maybe do an internship at a vet clinic or something like that to see if that's really what you want to do.
Okay. Well, and now what about high school counselors? Are they really helping the kids these days, or is it just kind of like, let's just get them through high school and then send them on their way?
Well, I love counselors. They've got a load of opportunities and objectives that they have to meet, but you know, guidance as far as college direction just gets overwhelmed. They're overworked, they're underfunded. You know, there are about 350 to 400 students per one counselor. So,
and how do you keep track of that?
It's just next to impossible. So, you know, the No Child Left Behind means we've got to get you going. So,
right.
You know, you can't stay here, so get into college. So start for general education. That means their job's done, but maybe it just doesn't lead that student in the right direction. And then, you know, 50% of the kids that enrolled in 2008 and 2009, they dropped by mid-2010.
Oh, no.
So it's called debt without a degree. There was a new report put out by Senator Harkin on the HELP committee.
And Senator Harkin, he's from Iowa.
Yeah, he's a Democrat from Iowa. He's the chairman of that committee.
Yeah.
And he's just calling it the debt without a degree. And we've got to put an end to it.
So and back to these counselors, it's kind of like, okay, so we're gonna hold our ground and we're gonna make sure that there's no child left behind, and kind of get them out the door with their high school diploma. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know what you're gonna go do, but go do something.
Correct.
But without the true direction and the passion.
Without having a major selected and the direction, now they're just going to school, taking classes. So it's just like volunteering your student to take homework. For no reason, but just go there, take homework, and spend the money and the time and the energy. They get frustrated, they quit, and then they end up with the debt, and they still don't have a degree.
How much debt are we talking these days?
October of last year just exceeded $1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
And how much debt is each college student carrying? Do you know?
$25,000 on average, and then there's about another $7,000 on credit cards.
25,000 and then 7,000 on credit cards. All right, so but now what about applying for a student loan for these kids? I mean, are they doing it, or do they just get all frustrated and say, forget it, I guess I'll just do an 8-year plan?
Well, student loans are the envy of the whole industry, because that transfers the risk back to the family. You know, so the school is wonderful because that means less money they've got to put out. The government's thrilled, that means less money they've got to put out, so transfer that responsibility back to the family, so then they can make the payments, and there's no way to run or hide. 1 out of 5 students defaults on their student loan. 1 out of 5.
I mean, how do you even get ahead at that point?
Well, that's just really it. We want education to be you know, beneficial financially as well as educationally. You know, it's a privilege to go to college. So treat it like that. So, you know, be prepared. If you don't know, don't go. That's the kind of camp we're in. You know, it's really be that specific. And I know that's frustrating, but do the digging while it's early and find out where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to do, and then map out a plan and take a proactive role. My son's taking AP honors classes now. He's a junior. He's on a track right now to get a 4-year degree in less than 3.
Wow. But he's like, what, that 1%, you know?
Well, and it really wasn't, but those are some of the options. I'm
Right.
not saying you have to conquer a whole year,
No.
but he's experiencing some things that he would be experiencing in high school or in college. So that would lead him potentially in that direction more aggressively or deter him into a different major.
You mentioned something, and it really stuck out with me, was when you said, if you don't know, don't go. And I think it sounds great, but so many parents, well, in my house, it was like, it's not if I'm going to college, it's where I'm going to college. And with that, it was like, if I took a year off or 2 years off, I think my parents had this fear of, she's never going to go. And so, I mean, and I helped pay for my student loans as well. But what else can we do as far as finding the direction? I mean, do you really suggest that, okay, take that year off and maybe find that passion that you could be lacking because it's going to save you money in the long run?
Well, you know, tuition and lost income, that combination is pretty significant. So you can either apply that time finding out what it is that you truly want to do, either through a work study, through work itself, or through research, or you can spend money and time at somebody else's expense and then try and carry that later on. So it comes one of two ways, and there's pieces and tools and resources out there that you can use that'll help uncover these things and give you tremendous guidance. Not saying we're that much older, but yeah, it was a gift that you go to college, you're going to have a better opportunity for jobs. Now, 85% of the college graduates plan to move back home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so what is it that makes you special? Just to graduate from the college.
Yeah,
You're the same as the other 72,000 coming out of
that's no
ASU.
big deal. So now you need to
No.
get your master's and your PhD, which puts you more and more in debt. No, by the way, you know, it'd be nice if you got married, and I'm looking for some grandkids, so get busy on that too. Yeah.
That's right, and there's no guarantees that you're going to come out on top there either.
What are some of the tools that you can offer the viewers at home who may be looking for the direction of the course of study with their child?
Well, you know, College Prep Mastery is put all these pieces together. So it's a passion test, even something as simple as that. Finding out what it is that you're passionate about. Finding out what other people see in you that you portray, that you're good at. Some people think you're good at something, but you portray something that other people. And then a comprehensive aptitude test that digs into the interest, the intellect, and the education, and then gives you career opportunities and a portal to be able to put all the things that you do through high school and work years, extracurricular activities, job opportunities, so you can package yourself to make you unique when you graduate.
Chip, thanks so much for joining us this morning. So, okay, mistake number one is make sure that you know the right course of study. And in the next couple of weeks, we will also find out the second mistake with Chip about planning for college. And we will be right back in the Morning Scramble.